I'm here with Lars Strandridder from Best in Tesla. Lars, I want to jump into the topic of supercharging. Okay.
Yeah.
Tesla dropped a bombshell this week and basically said, hey, guess what? We're going to make our superchargers open to all other auto manufacturers. So all you Porsche Taycans and you VW ID4s can come invade our beautiful, pristine Tesla charging stations now. Instead of that beautiful, array of Tesla Model Ys and Model 3s and S's and X's all posted up in there, we're going to drop in a VW ID4. What do you think about
Yeah, it's
this?
gonna be a mess. It's gonna be a mess. Yeah, yeah, I
What are your
think that
thoughts on that one?
Tesla is. I think it's gonna be great because Tesla's mission is, after all, to transition to sustainable energy and get everybody to drive electric. But I also think Tesla is working on a big move in this charging game because, as
Interesting.
Elon also tweeted out, massive increase is coming, and they are already pushing harder than anybody else in the market. We have the China factory they put up in about 6 months, cost them 6.5 million to do, something like that. That is pushing out 10,000 chargers now a year, so they could easily put up more of these factories. It's of course expensive to build them and build the charging stations and all that. But if they at the same time opening up, starting earning money from other EVs than just Tesla, because many Teslas also have referral programs and so on. So I don't think that the charging network is such a great business case for Tesla right now. But it could be if they open it up to third parties. And I also think it's going to be, but they also have to make a massive increase then. I think here in Europe it's a little different than in the US. I think in the US you will see much more queues at the Tesla chargers. I have never experienced a queue on Tesla charger here in Europe or in Denmark or whatever I've been
Right.
traveling. There's always free chargers, but I do believe I'm seeing chargers in the US where there's a long queue for people to charge. So, and Tesla is ramping up to twice the size almost this year. So they do need to also make the charging network twice the size just for their own fleet in the coming
Hmm.
years and continue that growth. So opening up to, and we don't know if it's everybody else that can just join in, or they're gonna roll in one automaker at a time, or however it's gonna work. But I think it's gonna be a greater revenue for Tesla to start earning some money because they have built up this crazy network all by themselves in the decade that they were struggling with cash and had red numbers through the decade, and they built up these 20 or now over 25. They're somewhere between 25 and 30,000 chargers right now. But if a massive increase is coming and they can put up, 10,000 a year, I think it's going to be a good opportunity for Tesla to also get the goodwill that Tesla, and nobody wanted to work with Tesla, but now they are opening up their network to everybody else, and the
Right.
ID4 owner can come and charge their stations, and they will see, okay, this is a very fast station because many here in Europe anyway, we have a lot of chargers, but mostly 50 kilowatt chargers. Starting
Right.
to see more and more very fast chargers, so that's really good. But when you're on a road trip like I am here, it even though I could get free chargers at home with my subscription I have with an electricity provider, I still go for Tesla, even though I have to pay for it, because it's just
Hmm.
three times as fast, even though it's only 150. But now they have the 250. They are opening that up. Elon had just confirmed again that will be 300
Yep.
kilowatts charging very soon. That will also make a huge impact on how long people have to stay at the charges as well. So if
For
they can
sure.
increase that, he has said 350 as well. But I also think that the Volkswagen people or whatever other EV owners will come to a Tesla charger and see, oh my God, they can charge at 250 or 300 or whatever they're going to open it up to, and I can only charge at 125 with my ID3 or 150 with my Mach-E or whatever, and they get more range, and I have to pay more. And it's all the benefits kind of shows for Tesla when you add that charger with your other EV. Not that they're not great electric cars, but you just get so much more benefit. And Tesla doesn't really make advertising, but I think that could be a really big advertising for Tesla. Every other EV owner coming to Tesla because they have the most chargers and the fastest charger. And if they make it pretty much as easy as it is with a Tesla, you plug it in. Maybe you have to open an app here, but but still, Tesla is good with software, so I believe they could figure something very easy, even for third-party users, to use this charging network, and people will flock to these chargers. So
Yeah,
that would
I
be
guess
good advertising. And
here's my question: is
yeah,
you've got Ford, you've got VW. Let's look at the bigger rollouts that are out there right now. Even GM to a certain extent here in the U.S. with Bolts and things of that nature. How? I mean, because this, in a way, all these manufacturers, if they were to work with Tesla, this is opening up their customer base right to Tesla. So Tesla is you're gonna have to go in and create a Tesla account, because that's essentially going to give you your ability to charge there, because it's going to auto debit your card and for payment and all those kind of scenarios. It's different than a Tesla owner who they already know, meaning Tesla already knows who I am. Do you think auto manufacturers are going to do that? Because it's like kind of opening up your Rolodex of your customers to your arch enemy potentially.
yeah, exactly. I think there's going to be some who won't. As
Yeah,
we have seen so far, also Tesla has said for many years they are willing to open it up if somebody wants
interesting.
to help pay for this charging network. Nobody
Right.
has jumped the gun, and I think you are right on the money that this is because they don't want to show off that, okay, we're going to go with Tesla chargers. We give up, go with them, charge at their
Exactly.
place, because we can't ramp up like that. But I think it's also because it is one of the best benefits of owning a Tesla is the charging network. Even here in Europe, and I believe very much in the US, definitely.
Yep.
So if they are not gonna push for a lot of charging, it's just going to become more and more obvious, especially if Tesla opens up and they don't want to join. It's going to be so obvious for many people that, okay, they don't want to join because it will hurt their brand, because it will be much better for the customer if they did
Mm-hmm.
open it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think some will maybe not want to do it because it will hurt their brand, especially if they are luxury cars like maybe Porsche Taycan, because they're also using
Yeah, for
the
sure.
Ionity chargers that has very fast charging, and are trying to make their own little Porsche places they can charge here in Europe that others are going to build for them, of course. But I think if Tesla is really going to make this massive increase, as Tesla has talked about, and they are already producing 10,000 a year, and someone like Electrify America in the US are producing 3,500 a year, and if they're going
Right.
to ramp that up to twice the size, it's just going to be Teslas everywhere. And I think their customers will be angry if they don't want to go to open it up for the ID4 or anything else, because suddenly you will have a awesome, because it's already the best, but it will suddenly be twice as big, and they can see Tesla can charge everywhere, and it's fast and it's convenient, and then you buy another car, because I think that will hurt their sales
Mm-hmm.
in the end on the long term if people start, because it will be, people will figure this out. People are not stupid. So if they can start to see, okay, if I buy an ID4, I will not get the great Tesla network. Right now, I think it's like, yeah, I understand it, but people don't get it before they really start it. But the more and more
Right.
start to try out, the Electrify America, and it doesn't work or whatever, and it's only 50 kilowatt, and they only have 4 stalls, or you know, there's just so many drawbacks from other EV chargers compared to a Tesla, many places anyway. So I think it's going to be, yeah, I think they're going to be pushed to do it at some point. I don't think everybody would jump the gun here in the beginning, because it will seem like they have given up, and Tesla is just,
Yeah.
because I think Tesla has just seen, okay, nobody's jumping the gun. Nobody wants to help. We have Electrify America that's made because of Dieselgate, but nobody's really ramping up like crazy. We have other electricity companies ramping up and want to do more, but they are not in the realms of Tesla, and Tesla want to scale up like crazy. So Tesla, again, like they saw with batteries, nobody's doing this. Nobody's ramping up as fast as we want to with batteries. And now they're saying, okay, nobody's jumping on the EV charging network either.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to have to do this ourselves once again. And therefore, we're going to make a massive increase, opening up. And it's going to make all the other guys look really, really bad if they don't make their
Yeah.
cars able to get to the Tesla chargers.
Yeah, and it's really just going to be an adapter scenario, whether you're using the CHAdeMO or the, what
Yeah.
is it, the CSS1, that you have. I mean, you can also use that one little adapter that you can find right now from a Tesla to like a Charge a Point or Electrify America. So I've done that on my Tesla, charging at those other stations. We were on our road trip here recently. One thing I did find is that the charging stations being built on a lot of our highways now are both Charge Point and Tesla in the same facility, right there in the same place,
Yeah.
because that was kind of an interesting thing. So this is going to be an interesting thing to see how the consumers adapt to it quickly. And then, of course, if they do, being able just for Tesla to get that data of that consumer. Now I've got a Mach-E. I know who the Mach-E is, even though there's many ways to do that, but now you really know who that individual is because you've got them logged into a Tesla account. So I like it. I think it's a good move. The only question I have is going to be the concern of, like you were mentioning early, is the queues potentially being a problem, at least here in the U.S. Most of the time, you're right. Here in the U.S., we haven't seen it too much with the exception of California and in Miami, here in South Florida. There are places where I've gone to all, stations, and I'm queued in, and you use that Tesla etiquette of who's next in line kind of thing. And it's real. It's happening here in South Florida. So I think they do need to really keep on that schedule of growing the Supercharger network for sure. So that's the good thing. I like it. All right, so let's move on. I want to get into some of the other topics around Tesla's growth plan for this year and kind of the future of what this this brand is going to do. First of all, I want to just talk to you. Recent price increases we've seen on both Model Y and Model 3. Another one came out on Model 3 now, edging up around $50,000. Did you know your car is worth more today?
Yeah, but it was actually a little bit different in Denmark because of the taxes. It's really hard to keep up when you're sitting in a country that does it in a very different way. Because my car has been very well above my normal pay grade, but it's actually come down to about the same price as I bought it in 19. So here in Denmark it's a little bit different, but yeah.
We've seen multiple price increases on the Model Y. When I purchased my Model Y, I think it's now around $2,500 more than what I paid for it. So literally drive the car for a year, it's appreciated in value, and which is
you don't
insane.
see that much.
No, you don't see that at all. So do you think that with the growth of, and I guess the question I have is, why are we seeing these price increases from Tesla? Do you think they're prepping for maybe the next model to nest in underneath the Model 3?
Yeah, I also think demand is as long as they can see the demand is growing, they can raise the price a little bit. I think that's what we saw with the Model S Plaid that came out as well. It also rose like $10,000 or something like that. I can't remember, $5,000 or $10,000.
$5,000.
A big jump. 5,000. Yeah, it was a big jump, and I think it's just because the demand for the new refreshed Model S has been insane, and I think we see the same thing with this with the Model 3. And I think, as you say, Tesla, if they can earn a little bit more money, because they know maybe in 23 they have to prepare themselves for a big new thing with the Model 2 or A or whatever it's going to be called. It's always expensive to do that. So maybe they are pushing in a little bit to make sure that they don't get red numbers, because shareholders and stuff like that don't like that. So maybe that's one of the reasons why as well. But I also think demand is the price has gone up and down for the last 5 years. So I think they're just playing the field, and if there is a high demand, they will raise the prices to earn a little bit more, because we have already seen Tesla is earning a lot of money on their cars cross margin wise compared to other automakers. So and other automakers does the same thing. It's just not as newsworthy as when it's Tesla.
Where do you think their earnings are going to fall? They're getting ready to release earnings. What are your thoughts on that for their Q2?
I think they're going to have a good quarter, Q2. I think it's going to be a little bit better than Q1. We have seen they have sold, they increased also the production with 14% from Q1 to Q2, even with no new factories or anything on. So they do still ramp up. So I think we're going to see an increase. And we also just heard about some credits they would get. I don't think they're going to be in the Q2, but they're probably going to be in Q1. But Tesla is still getting credits and will do for a year or two more, or maybe even more, because we see a slow take in China, for example. Where Volkswagen is down like 1% of their vehicles is EV. So if they don't pay Tesla, they will get some fines anyway. So I think they're going to be an okay quarter. I don't think it's going to be like explosive or anything. I just think it's going to be, 10% better than Q1, but still ramping up.
Lars, last question here. What do you think Tesla has to do to really kind of accelerate their growth? They've kind of met with a little bit of competition in China. I think everyone knows at least there's some people or companies there in China that are making cars that are at least being considered in the consumer decision. Obviously, here in the United States, we don't have much options. I mean, you got a handful of vehicles that are out there, maybe the Mach-E, but it's just limited production. You get into some of the other lines. Sure, there's cars coming, but it's still a couple of years away before I think we'll see the kind of availability that Tesla has. What do you think are going to be the things that really send Tesla to the next level in terms of profitability?
I think we're going to see Giga Berlin, Giga Texas coming online. I think 2022, they're going to be, already this year, they're going to be bigger than Volvo. Actually, to me, that's kind of amazing.
Crazy.
I'm from Scandinavia, so Volvo has been there all the time and is considered a big legacy automaker, even though they are not a mass producer of cars, but they have always been there, and now Tesla is going to be bigger than Volvo even. So, but I think the Model Y, we have seen huge demand for Tesla in Europe. They are already, the Model 3 is the best-selling EV here in Europe, even with no factory here. And I think many people I know already, a couple of my friends are waiting for the Model Y to come to Europe. So I think that's going to be explosive for the European market. And I think the Model Y over in Giga Texas as well is going to be explosive. And they're going to, they have already said they have twice as many batteries from suppliers alone next year. So I don't think they're going to be battery constrained at all next year to get to 2 million vehicles next year. So I think we're going to see a massive growth in 2022 because they will have the batteries, they will have 2 new factories up and running, and they're really gonna ramp it up and become a really huge automaker. They're gonna getting up there to Mercedes, BMW, and that kind of amount of production in a couple of years.
Which is going to be, I think, for people who are watching this that are looking at investing, or maybe you've already invested in Tesla. I think 22 is going to be one of the years that you're going to see a big payday. I would agree with that. Yeah. 21, I feel like there's going to be a little bit of struggle towards the end of the year to be able to meet some of the numbers, mainly just because the factories are not there yet, and being able to get those ramped in 2021. I guess that's my big concern for Tesla is Giga Texas in Austin, and obviously with Berlin not online yet, and here we are mid-year. So that would be a big scenario for them, especially in Q4. That'll be the big telltale of whether or not they're going to hit their numbers for Q4, which could hurt a little bit on the stock price for sure. Hey, Lars, it's been great having you on the show today. We really appreciate you stopping in. Sorry to interrupt your holiday there, but thanks for coming on for sure.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure. Always nice talking Tesla.
All right. You guys, of course, are tuned in over on the podcast right now. Give us some stars over there. You're here on YouTube. Make sure and subscribe. And, of course, leave a comment. Let us know what you think is going to happen on any of these topics. And also, if you have an idea for the show, you can also hit them in the comments below or hit me up on Twitter. It's just @PaulBaron. I'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.